It is me, Zachary, in my bedraggled state. Here begins the, listen, I'm not a solo board game player, but, I have, does this do what I think it does? No, but I have acquired ISS Vanguard, and I've been playing through it, and, I've shared some anecdotes with some folks about how it's going, and Chris and some other people said you should record like a diary series. So that's what this is. Maybe I shouldn't be vertical. Is that better? I hope so. But people said, hey, maybe you should record a diary series about how your campaign's going on and to keep track of it going forward. So, where's the camera? So that's what I'm going to do. It's all the way in the corner. See, I'm looking at myself now, but now I'm looking at the camera. This is going to be difficult. This is going to be difficult. This is going to be difficult. I have played the tutorial, I've played the mission after the tutorial, and I have played 2 missions after that. So I've played 5 missions total. I'm going to give you a brief recap of how that's going. Oh, spoilers. I'm going to just spoil the crap out of this game. If you don't want spoilers for ISS Vanguard, you should not be here, because this is all going to be spoilers. Let's get into it. Hi, everybody. Let's pause for a moment, and I'm going to update you with the tale of the ISS Vanguard. Like I said, spoilers ahoy, I'm not going to hide anything. So, once upon a time, the ISS Vanguard was launched into space. The whole premise of the ISS Vanguard game is that humanity has found a secret star map hidden in the junk DNA of every animal and living thing on the planet Earth. We go out into space to try to follow that star map. The tutorial mission was the first mission. You couldn't lose the tutorial mission. You couldn't die. You couldn't lose crew members. It was pretty easy, but also for a tutorial mission, it didn't really teach you the game. So I don't think it was super successful as a tutorial. It was neat. I liked the story stuff that was going on, but I think I had to basically relearn the whole entire game in the following missions. It didn't really explain why you were doing anything, and you didn't make any choices. And so you didn't learn anything in the tutorial, which might be why I lost so badly in the following mission. After that, the only planet you can go to after the tutorial mission is to go to a planet called Pellucid. It's a planet with giant crystals stabbed into it everywhere. And this is when things started to go wrong for me, because now characters could die. I went in with 3 characters. I'm playing solo. I used 3 characters. Because I thought, well, maybe I can manage 3 characters. We'll see. 2 of them died. 2 of them died by running out of dice, burning themselves down, and getting exhausted in this game. As you refresh your dice pool to roll more dice, you have to burn a dice, and at a certain point, you can't burn any more dice, and you need the dice pool to play and move around the board, and so you start gaining the exhausted status. And when you get enough exhausted status, you die, which sucks. Now, let me level with you here for a moment. In the normal game, when you get too much exhausted status or wounds, you're supposed to just evac from the planet. And there's a chance your characters could die, but they don't die. But when I was opening the box, I saw this deadly space reference card. Is this going to be backwards for you? Which says, hey, if you want to make the game harder, these are the rules. These are the rules for it. And I thought, yes, I want to make the game harder because I like hard games. And the reference card did say, hey, don't use these rules unless you've already beaten the entire campaign again. And I said to myself, Zach, you're never going to play this campaign twice unless you really love it, in which case you want it to be hard both times. So I'm using the diddly space rules. So in my first mission to Pellucid, 2 people died. I lost. Here, we'll go to my graveyard page. My med bay. All these poor people have been brutalized by their quest for science and expanding human knowledge. Here's my memorial wall of the dead. And here's my little reminder sheet of who died when. So in Pellucid, I lost Madison, or Maxim Polenko. Now, Maxim Polenko, I thought he was very funny. The back of his card says that he's a scientist. He won a bunch of scientist prizes, but then he moved out into the woods and refused to use any technology. And he's just got this little icon which makes him real strong. And I thought it was very funny that he joined a space trip after having refused to use any technology. And so I made him the head of my science division, and then he died on my first mission. So, maybe learn to use an iPad, old man. And I also lost Li Tang. Li Tang was my favorite character in this whole game. Her back of her card says that she's a stowaway. She was a barista that somehow got onto the ISS Vanguard. That's spunk, that's gumption. Sneak onto the science ship as a barista. We'll make you head of recon. And then she, of course, bit the bullet on the first planet. And then I also had, on that mission, Newt Nimue. And he did great. He did great. I think he got critically injured, and I had to roll some dice to see if he was going to die. But he pulled through because engineering knows what's up. So then on my second planet, or third planet, second after the tutorial, third concluding the tutorial. On my third planet, we went to Matchstick. Matchstick is a hellhole. It's a green death. It's a creeping, vine-filled horrorscape. It was bad. It was very bad on Matchstick. I think what I felt really strongly in Pellucid and in the tutorial is that, okay, this game feels a lot like you're sort of like deep diving underwater with limited oxygen. You have these resources, and the resources are constantly cycling down, and you're running out of them, and you're accumulating wounds. There's only a certain amount of time and a certain amount of actions you can carry out on the planet. The feeling I got from the first two planets, the tutorial and Pellucid, was, hey, we got to be as efficient with this puzzle as possible. So I brought 4 crew instead of 3, and that proved very unwieldy, and I wanted to explore the entirety of Matchstick. And so I achieved the objective. I was exploring the other locations on the map. I found a vault. The vault was terrifying because it was guarded by a giant robot, and that robot chased us across the planet and nearly killed everyone. Luckily, no one died. I thought, looking at my notes, people had died. No, not yet. But everybody on that away team got critically injured. Sophia got critically injured. She's still in the hospital. Giovanna got critically injured. She's still in the hospital. Lena got critically injured. She's still in the hospital. And Keith, my little nerdy recon man, where are you? Where are you, Keith? Keith got through unscathed. I've never sent him on a mission. He's never not paid out for me. Well, he's only gone on 1 mission. But Keith is the only person who's come back uninjured from an away team mission. So, my Geordie LaForge. Hopefully, he stays out of the holodeck. So that was Matchstick, the first. After that, we went to a planet called Everstorm. Everstorm sucked as well. And here I was like, all right, I failed every mission so far. Well, I've achieved the objectives, but people have come back broken. And so I thought, Everstorm, we're going to do this right. Who should I send for my science lead? I know. I'll send Francisca Potter. It didn't turn out to be the best plan because right now she's slid into the memorial wall sleeve. Her card says that she had leukemia, and for some reason being in space put it into remission. And I thought, she's unkillable. She's great. I'm going to make her head of the science away team, and she's going to take care of things. Little did I know that Everstorm, that whole planet, is a trap. It's a trap designed by the devs of this game to murder you. And Francisca, I had to tell to climb a mountain into space in order to get picked up by the spaceship. And it turns out when you have leukemia, that's very hard on your body, and she died en route. Luckily, she wasn't alone because she also fell tragically beside Cho Jae-young, who was my engineering lead on that mission. I don't remember how she died. It was kind of forgettable, as was she. And it turns out I didn't need her little exploration icon on that planet. I needed someone with mountain climbing skills. I also lost Jop Ulrich from Recon Division. He's one of the characters that the game gives you no matter what at the start of the game, and it's like, hey, they get to start at level 2. So I brought a level 2 guy thinking he could lead all my level 1 guys to victory. He died. He couldn't recon his way up a mountain into space. Who could climb up a mountain into space was Xavier. He was a badass. He took care of me that entire game. The mission text at the end said that he earned a Medal of Honor or a Medal of Distinction, which is great. But also, he was exhausted 3 times on that mission, which meant he was critically wounded when he got back to the ship, and he died on a surgery table of exhaustion. Maybe shouldn't have sent the oldest man I found in the entire crew, to climb a mountain so tall that it exited the atmosphere. So that was that. Old man, leukemia girl, forgettable girl, and arguably the best character I had in the entire game, all wiped out by Everstorm. It was brutal, man. Brutal. So after I left Everstorm, the game said, hey, you can never go back here again. And I was like, good. I never want to go back there again. And that left me with very few options. I was running out of energy on the ship because I had an energy crisis. I had a command crisis. There was like a pseudo mutiny going on, which is still going on because I haven't dealt with it, which left me with very few places I could go with the ship. And so I had to turn around and go back to the hellscape, the green hell that was Matchstick. So I went back there and I thought, I have to send... Here's the problem. I've sent 4 crew on the last 2 missions, and it's proved kind of unwieldy to play as a single player playing this board game. I haven't been very efficient. I haven't been using everybody's skill. I keep forgetting where the camera is. I haven't been very efficient. I haven't been using everybody's skills optimally, or their cards optimally, or their dice optimally. There's lots of little fiddly things you can do to increase efficiency, and I'm not doing them for everybody because I'm one person. I'm only the captain. There's a reason the captain doesn't go on our away missions except for when they're alone, or when there's particularly attractive aliens. But anyway, I am only one man, and I can't manage the whole away teams by myself. So I thought, okay, I'm not going to send a 4-man away team. Maybe that's why I've had such atrocious death records so far. I'm going to send 2 crew to Matchstick this time. And I'm going to be as hyper efficient as I possibly can. That was a bad idea. Because it turns out when you have 2 crew, you go into the planet with just a lot less resources. You can explore a lot fewer places on the planet at the same time. And as it turns out, they just get walloped by a giant robot. And when they're not being walloped by a giant robot, they're being eaten by a carnivorous vine beast. So I went down to the planet. I knew there was going to be a giant robot. I thought, okay, well, I'm going to go down ready to fight the giant robot. I picked 2 characters. They were great at fighting. They had the muscle skills on their dice. And so, I went down. I started punching the robot, and it wasn't going well. I was rolling badly. I lost all my items on the descent down to the planet, but due to turbulence or something. And the beast was knocking all their dice out of their hands, and their dice pools were shrinking really fast. They were accumulating wounds really fast. And I thought, screw this. We're not going to fight this robot. There's a mysterious vault door somewhere on this planet. I found it last time I was here. I'm going to go back to that vault door, and maybe there's a way to shut off this robot on the other side of this planet, because it seemed like the robot was too hard to fight. So I get to the vault door. It's a big stone door with mysterious technology attached to it. And here I am trying to open the door turn after turn. The robot's walloping me turn after turn. Giant plant monster is trying to eat me turn after turn. I'm burning dice like it's no tomorrow. I'm using all the muscle dice I can use on this door. And here's the thing. When you go down to planets, you can scan them. You can scan them with this little scanner. And it tells you certain icons that you're going to need on that planet. And so you want to bring crew that are going to use those icons. I'd scanned this planet twice now because I've come here twice. And I saw both times that you needed muscly arm actions on your dice, and you needed computer actions on your dice. I understood the muscly arm actions because here I am breaking open a giant stone vault, and I'm fighting a robot, and I'm fighting plants, and I'm like, yes, no, that makes sense. I haven't seen a single computer on this giant green planet. So I've forgotten about that at this point. I'm like, hey, there are no. I've been here twice and we haven't seen a single computer. That's a misnomer. The scanner just misread something. I should have believed the scanner. I should have considered more, because as soon as I open up this giant stone door, I'm almost out of dice. My guys are exhausted. They're wounded. They're beaten up. They've been shot by a giant laser beam. On the other side of that giant stone vault was a steel vault. And in that steel vault was a bunch of computer circuitry, and you need computer skill to open the steel vault. And so I'm like, great. I just wasted all of this time thinking I could turn off the robot. I can't turn off the robot because I brought two knuckleheads that are only good at punching. Why wasn't I punching? So they died. I lost Taein there. Oh, no, wait. Riku survived. I had to evac. But Riku survived. He's critically injured right now. He'll be back in 4 games. There Riku is. This poor bastard was beaten half to death by a robot while he tried to open a door that led to another door that had a computer terminal that he has no idea how to use. This man's a hero. This lady, on the other hand, not a hero. A fool. Well, no, she's not a fool. She died doing exactly what I told her to do. So maybe that's noble somehow. Anyway, that's a summary of how things have been going for me up to this point. Death and misery, near mutiny, and chaos. Let's get into the next mission. Resuming from a saved game. I've already sort of done that. Here, I'll get set up and I'll come back to you. Captain's log, Stardate 1. Just the first one. If you don't know how this game works, you have this book. Oh my god, that's going to be upside down, isn't it? You have this book, and you flip through it, and each page you go through a different stage of running your ship. And I have a whole ton of these situation cards have come up. I have an outbreak on my ship, and I've had to discard a number of people who are so sick they've gone blind. So I sent Clara out because she's a brand new engineer, and she's never been planetside, and she's already looks like she's into VR. So if anyone was going to get sick with the blind disease, I decided on her. This is the most boring character I have in the entire game. They just look like a lady playing with their phone. So she's also blind now. You beware of technology, kids. Play board games. And then I also had to pick Cheryl Hayes to be sick. She's going blind now. She's in the science division. Also have never sent her to planetside. She just sort of looks like a fancy lass. And, you know, the ISS Vanguard's out here doing real hard science. We're on the ragged edge. I appreciate her style, but maybe that's energy misplaced. They're going blind. I was supposed to send another recon member out with the blindness disease, but I'm out of recon members. So I can't send any more to the hospital. I'm also homesick. My crew is doing all kinds of terrible stuff. I'm losing resources for it. And then I have provocation, which just means, hey, my crew hate me. They want me to stop being the captain. They're trying to oust me. There's like a quiet Cold War style mutiny happening. They're just trying to provoke me, which means I'm drawing 3 new situations. I'm not going to have to deal with these until next session. But as you can see, I'm starting to pile up my situation. Another food shortage, second time I've had that card this game. Illegal power diversion, also second time I've had that card this game. Oh my gosh, the crew is not inventive when it comes to screwing up. And intersectional games, you have a chance to turn all misunderstanding and tension between the sections into friendly competition. Well, that's what I need. I need that. People to learn to love each other while they're starving and running out of power and getting blind due to a sickness and homesick and trying to oust me. That's what I need. I need the Olympics on a spaceship. That's never gone wrong. That's never heightened tensions. Anyway, I'm going to check back with you a little later in this game. Trying to decide what I do with my ship. This is the ship book. This is the star map. I'm in the star map section. Right now I'm in N4 New Ceti. I have just been destroyed on Matchstick, and I'm trying to decide what to do because I don't want to go there again. I could go to GIF 4 on page 6. I've already been here, though. I've explored the Black Shard. I've been to Everstorm, and I can never land there again. So I'm not going to GIF 4. There's no way. I could go to Toy 2, which is way back here. I've already been here as well. I've already been to Pellucid, and I don't think I can go back there either. So what am I going to do? Well, I could go back to Toy 2 and travel from there to INF. And INF, I haven't been to, and it's got a new planet called Brimstone. I'm trying not to look too much at what's on this page, but I could go there. But in order to go there, I'd need to spend 1 power to get back to Toy 2, and then I'd need to spend 1 power to get to INF, and then I think I would need to spend some power to land on INF. So that's 2 power out of my 3. And I suspect I'm going to need some of that power to fix stuff on my ship, which makes me think maybe I land on Matchstick. And I don't want to land on Matchstick. This place is hell. New City B. It's a shit show. It's a hellscape. The plants will kill me. The giants will kill me. I don't want to land there. All right, I think we're just going to commit. We're going to commit. We're going to go on a Star Voyage, Battlestar Galactica style. We're going to go to the INF system via Toy 2 and hope that works out. All right, I've made it to INF, and I have enough power. I'm going to try to go to this Tidecaller moon and see what's going on there. Vast bodies of liquid water. It costs no energy to get there. I have 1 energy left, so that's not a big deal. I have to choose a crew member to go. I'm going to send my man, Ute Nimwan. I was just listening to the audio log after sending Ute down to the Tidecaller moon. I didn't realize, it didn't say that mission that I was sending him in a submarine onto a moon covered in water, all alone to go and collect samples. Because I thought I was just sending him to like check it out. I didn't think I was sending him in a submarine on an alien planet. And I was listening to it and I was like, oh, this is ominous. Listen, he's stuck at the bottom of the ocean on the Tidecaller moon. Don't go there. Don't go there. I did get some live specimens out of it. So alien life was cool. It's there. I found it. But I've entered into what I'm assuming is going to be some kind of Titan submersible situation. Only instead of a millionaire, it's my most prized engineer at the bottom of the ocean on an alien planet. And I'm out of energy. This game, I don't know if it's... Here I am. I don't know if this is a good game or not, but I'm experiencing things. Update, my boy's fine. The audio log made it sound a little bit more dire than it was. Newt just gonna go into the resting crew. And we're landing on this planet called Brimstone, so that can't be bad. Okay, I've been doing the prep to get down to Brimstone. Here's my elite squad. It's not an elite squad. They're the only crew I had available at the time. So I'm sending Keith Wood. He's my recon man. I'm sending him with a live streaming rig because he looks like the kind of nerdy fellow who would want to live stream on a planet. I'm sending and Beckman as my engineer. Lots of mining picks, which I think is really good because we're going to a planet called Brimstone. I'm sending her with a construction arm, a mining laser, and some mining probes. If there's no mining that's going to happen on this planet, I don't know what's going to... She's going to be useless. But I'm spending so many of my resources bringing all this mining equipment. I hope I'm mining. I hope I have to mine on this planet. If I don't, I'm going to be so sad. Then there's the security officer, Willow Baker. The back of her card says she was in the military, decided she wanted to start a family, heard about the ISS Vanguard and decided, I can start a family in space if I want to. So it doesn't seem like she's very picky about who she starts a family with or where. But she's not starting a family because I've sent her to another death trap Welcome to the away team squad, Willow. I'm going to give you an adrenaline shot because you're going to need it, and a med kit. So, that's the situation. Okay, we're landed. We're safe. We're relatively safe. There's a giant dust storm. It's going to try to kill us. Still have supplies. Let's see how it develops. Things are bad. Everything was going fine. Everything was going absolutely fine. We were just exploring this planet. I was managing my dice well. I was doing great things with cards. Then this idiot. Keith, do you know what he did? Well, I told him to go and look at some hydrothermal vents that had some mysterious bacteria on it. But you know what he did? He let that bacteria crawl right into his suit. This little dummy. And now they won't let us back on the ship. My away team is stuck. We are running out of resources now. I have split up my team, mostly to avoid the dust storms, but secretly mostly just, so I could fully mine the entire planet. Listen, colonization is hard, and always a moral good. But yeah, now Keith is now being eaten alive by space bacteria, and the ship won't let us come back to go back to space unless we fix him, or maybe we abandon him. I don't know. But yeah, so now my new missions contain the parasite. We'll see how that works. It's going very well. Surprisingly, very, very well. I have the feeling that this planet, Brimstone, was designed as a gimme. I think maybe the other planets I went to were traps, and this one's just supposed to give everything to you. The planet is covered with locations that don't hurt you at all, that have no fail conditions, and that just give you tons of discoveries. I'm using, as I said before, the deadly space rules, which makes it harder to get discoveries. But I very quickly just filled my entire cargo hold with discoveries, which is also surprising because in order to get discoveries, you draw tokens from this bag. And when I was unboxing this game, I got rambunctious, and I threw out the punch boards after I thought I had punched everything, and I hadn't punched the tokens that were supposed to be in this bag. So I think I'm missing like 4 tokens that have numbers on them, which means I think there's like 6 tokens out of 20 that have numbers on them, and the rest are zeros. So it should be very hard for me to get discoveries at all. And then I'm also using the hard rules, which make it even harder to get discoveries. But I have filled my ship with discoveries. The bacteria that I thought was going to kill all my crew, turns out I don't think it had any chance of hurting anyone at all. That was just sort of set dressing to give me more discoveries. Yeah, if Brimstone feels disappointingly easy so far. I've discovered some cool alien stuff. I've found a Steely. I'm going to find the builders and punish them for putting this stupid map in my blood and forcing me to go across the galaxy to find them in this ridiculous scavenger hunt. Yeah, it's strange. I've had very difficult games where I've lost lots of people. And Brimstone, here I've had a very easy time, and it does not feel earned. And I've been hoarding my resources, and I've been very careful on this planet. But I have not felt like that was even needed. I can't imagine how I could have misplayed this planet in a way that would have resulted in failure. I say that. I think I'm still going to have some people die because, well, my security chief might, let's see, she's been burned and burned and burned. Well, that's going to happen when I tell someone to explore the lava fields. Burning's just going to happen. Burning's going to happen sometimes if you're an astronaut. We'll update further as time progresses. Hi. So I've just gotten back from Brimstone. I'm doing the debriefing and docking procedures. All of my crew have leveled up. Keith Wood, my glorious survivor, he's becoming level 2. And Beckman is becoming level 2. And Willow Baker is going to become level 2. This is my most successful mission so far. Going pretty well. Share with me my horror. All right, we're in the med bay. My away team has mostly come off unscathed. Keith Wood has light injuries. Willow Baker has critical injuries. We're going to have to roll to see if she survives. or joins the dead on my memorial wall. Oh wait, that's the wrong kind of dice. Okay. Will she survive or join the dead on my memorial wall? 3 dice? Yes. Join the dead or survive on my... You know what I mean. Oh, that's a green dice. 1 second. All right. Whoa. Ah. Now it's a yellow. Let's see, what's this mean? Each crew member critical slot. All right, she lives, but she's gonna be fine. Don't worry. I remember your backstory. You want a family. You're gonna have one, unless you go on the next away mission. To sum things up, this was a deceptively easy mission. Brimstone's done. Everyone survived. One person's in critical care, but they will pull through. It feels like maybe I didn't find the one thing on that planet that's dangerous. There's one spot on that board. There's a collapsed cave that I can excavate, that I didn't have time to excavate. So maybe we'll land on this planet again, because the only other place I have to go other than this planet again is back to Matchstick, and there's no force in the galaxy that will bring me back to Matchstick. I'll make you a promise right now. If the game makes me go back to Matchstick, I'm done. We turn ISS Vanguard around and we go back to Earth. Yeah, but this was a little too easy for my taste. I feel like I just walked away with it. When you feel like you've walked away with it, that just means that there must be some things afoot. It is I, Captain Zachary, Captain Slog, Stardate 00002. I was going to explore the other locations in the solar system, but because everyone's sick and rebelling and fighting each other and stealing food, and my systems are breaking down and I have low morale, I have no power to explore other solar systems. So we're just going to land back on Brimstone immediately. I have this scanner, and I could use it to scan Brimstone to learn more of its secrets, but what do you know? It also needs power, so I can only see the 0, which is the same information I had the first time we landed. So we're going down the second time blind, but that's not a big deal. Brimstone was a cakewalk, right? There's 2 things I left unfinished on the planet. There was one tile that I think I can just abuse to get lots of mining discoveries. There's another tile I think I can use one time, the research lab, in order to get some microbiological discoveries. I like both of those options. Then there is a third place I could go that is a collapsed cave. And I have my suspicions. I in the debacle that was Matchstick, I found a giant robot inside a stone vault. And a collapsed cave, very similar to a stone vault. So I suspect when I rip open this cave, I'm going to find another giant robot. And this time, I'm going to beat it. If there's a robot. If there's not a robot, then Brimstone will continue to be the cakewalk that I hope it will be. I'll check back with you later. The situation is bad. We have tensions, claustrophobia, food shortage, illegal power diversion, and an outbreak continues. My crew is still slowly going blind. I'm reduced down to just a handful of crew. And I've run out of all power. I have only 2 command tokens left. It's only the beginning of this mission. It's not looking good. Things are going not too bad. I've just finished my ship management. I'm about to land on the planet again. I went to the engineering team and I told them, hey, things have been looking dicey on these planets recently. And they were like, yep. So we gave you spacesuits, beautiful spacesuits. Most of the spacesuits they've given me, like the protective suit, seems really just genuinely awful. Like I would never wear this or send my crew down with this. Not so it's such a big idea. The stasis suit seems even worse. It just lets you ignore some injury dice, but the injury dice don't really mess you up, right? Taking the injuries messes you up, and this doesn't stop you from taking the injuries. It just stops you rolling some dice that don't hurt your rolls at all. But this little beauty, this mobility suit is going to save my bacon. Not only is it specifically great in all the biomes that are on Brimstone, which is where we're about to land, but also it just makes moving around the planet cheaper, and that's what's been consuming so much of my dice. Yeah. I think this mission's looking easier every second. It was easy the first time. It's going to be easy this time because this time I have astronauts that are wearing spacesuits. Well, I moved one space from the sulfuric deposits to the cave. I uncovered the cave to discover a murky pool, and I've been here for 2 turns. 2 turns, not 5 turns, not 12 turns, 2 turns. And what has happened in that murky pool? I've just progressed this track. It's been pretty easy. I just need to roll green and blue together. There's absolutely no fail conditions on this pool. So what's going on? Well, 2 wounds. 2 wounds. 1 wound. Just 3 dice left. Just 2 dice left. 1 dice left. No supplies left. None whatsoever. How has this happened in two turns? Well, every event card has made me roll injury dice, and almost all those injury dice have resulted in wounds. I'm thinking of scrapping this entire endeavor. There's no monsters here. This dust storm, it hasn't moved, because none of the events have moved the time track. All of the time tracks. Oh, go back over there. All of the time tracks are at the beginning of the time track. None of the dangers have been counting down. I've been looking at some water and hurting myself in the process. What's going on? Nothing has really gone wrong. Everyone's just wounded. I've explored the whole planet. Boom. I've gone to every location. There's no mysteries here. There's a radioactive pool I could go to gain 1 supply. But I've explored every other part of this planet. I got excited. I found an alien probe dangling above a volcano, and I sent my team there and successfully harvested it without rolling any accident dice. And I thought, ooh, goody, this seems big. What am I gonna have? And it hasn't given me anything. Let me draw 1 discovery token from the bag. Didn't get anything. And then it told me just to put this card on top of the exciting probe, which is it's just a campsite. It's just a place to sleep. And that would be helpful if I had any supplies to rest up my crew. But this just a nothing space. It's a nothing burger. I'm kind of thinking maybe I screwed up by not screwing up the probe. I was sure I was going to find something on this planet. There's nothing here. There's just 1 spot left to go to, which is a spot where I can mine some minerals. And I hope I can mine those minerals. I can't leave this planet with less than 3 discoveries, or else this mission counts as a failure. And if it counts as a failure, then I lose all 5 success tokens I've gained, which would be a huge loss. That's a level up for everybody. But there's no locations on this map to go to get those discoveries. So all in all, this is not a disaster by any means, but it's certainly not a victory. We're gonna walk around the radioactive pool. We're going to not sleep at the campsites, and we're gonna hope we can mine enough to gain victory here. I doubt it. The mission's over. I've succeeded. Everyone's ranked up. 3 people have just gone to level 2. My crew is leveling up. Brimstone is barren. There's nothing left there. I've swiped it clean. I've looted it for all it's worth. I was sure that when I opened up the cave-in, it was going to be full of madness and disaster, maybe a giant robot. Nothing. It was just a radioactive pond. So yeah. But everyone's leveled up. I'm going to be able to buy everyone their 9th dice. I feel like I've been very efficient with experience. So my dice pools are getting very large. I think this was the break my campaign needed. I think this was it. Okay, here's the moment of truth. Sophia, Ben, Valia, Nokiova, they both ranked up. They were just on this mission, but they both took 3 wounds. There was no monsters. They didn't get trapped in the dust storm. How did they get hurt? I guess tripping on themselves or something. It was just event cards. So I got to roll 3 injury dice for each of them. Let's find out if they're dead. Valeria. Oh. Not dead. Sophia. Oh my god. Yep, no. Sophia's dead. Let's go to the memorial wall and send Sophia to her rest. We should have a memorial. We gather here to say goodbye to Sophia Ben. She was a lady with a strange sense of fashion and dubious claw hands. I don't think I ever read your backstory, Sophia. Let's find out who you were. Strange and aloof, you got that right, often keeping to herself. Well, she's dead now. Sophia is a mechanically minded scientist with a rare knack for interfacing with alien technology. We never found any, Sophia. Her passion for new and unknown machines drives her rigorous studies aboard the Vanguard. But some worry that her obsession with these alien artifacts might lead her to take bigger risks than she can handle. Well, you said that right, HR manager. What risks did she take? I really can't tell you, because it felt like a riskless mission, but she died. I guess space is just hard like that. Oh my god, this is not a very kind eulogy. Sophia gave her life doing what she loved, looking for stuff that wasn't hers to tinker with. We're all going to miss her creepy, creepy hands. Goodbye. Bet you wish you stayed on Earth. And I gain an extra command for next round. Maybe you were better dead than alive, Sophia. Okay, we're in a pickle. You see, I promised... You see, this is the situation. I promised myself that I would never go back to Matchstick. And if the game made me go back to Matchstick, I would have to just stop playing the game, because I don't want to go back there. Here's the issue. I've exhausted Brimstone. I can never go back to Everstorm, and there are no other planets to go to except for Matchstick. So I go back and break my word, which I gave to you guys live. Well, not live. I could edit it out. My earbud just fell out. I'm going to edit that out. I promised myself I would end the game. I would just stop playing the campaign if I ever was forced to go back to Matchstick. What do I do? I mean, I'm enjoying myself. But also, Brimstone was going well. But Brimstone also killed one of my people. Could have killed 2. It was an effortless mission. Nothing went wrong. Events just almost killed everyone with danger level A dangers. And if I hadn't, if I hadn't researched the mobile suits, the mobile space suits, I would have died on that planet even worse, because I would have had to exhaust a bunch of dice to just move from space to space. And I didn't have to do that because of the mobile spacesuits. So maybe I lucked out a little bit there, but I exhausted the whole planet and I didn't need to. I exhausted it hoping I would find something. And this is the reason I have to go back to Matchstick, because there's nothing left on Brimstone, and I'm not allowed to go back to Everstorm, and the only other planet I could go to is Matchstick. I think I already said this. But I promised I wouldn't go back to Matchstick. Right? And it's unfair to hold this game to this standard, because the designers can't predict me making a silly ultimatum with myself, and between myself and the game. But I have made that silly ultimatum, and I want to hold myself to it. I don't know. To go back to Matchstick and to my doom, and into an obviously unfair scenario that's made to hurt me more than is reasonable. Like, maybe, you see, this might be what's it. It might be that the game wants me, the designers want me to take the because when you leave a planet, you either choose the liftoff dialogue or the evac dialogue. And evac is only for when you failed. maybe the designers have designed it so that only failing and doing an evac from Matchstick triggers something. Because every time I've gone to Matchstick, it's been bad. It's been very bad, but I think I've always completed the mission and not had to do the evac, right? Because I've had everyone die, but the last people have died on my ship due to critical injuries after having succeeded the mission. And I don't know if I like the idea of going to Matchstick specifically to engineer my own loss in order to find out if that's how you progress the game. And maybe I'm supposed to just fight this giant robot. It doesn't feel possible. And am I going back to Matchstick? I don't want to go back to Matchstick. As a captain, I wouldn't send my crew to Matchstick. If I was a captain of the ISS Vanguard in this situation, I would turn my ship around and go back home, and we'd rethink this whole thing. And here's the other thing. I've been spending all of my shipboard actions mostly dealing with, and crew, mostly dealing with the situations that are arising on my ship. I haven't been spending them doing research, and I only just got enough sort of breathing space in this last mission to do some more engineering, which got me the spacesuits. The spacesuits got me super far. Maybe I should just be doing more research, but you can only do so much each round. And while my crew have been in the infirmary or dead, so I have limited crew to spend to sort of boost these actions. And the only place I can go now is Matchstick. But I said I wouldn't go. This is a dilemma. It's not the end. I deny it. All right, boys. Captain's log 0003, the ISS Vanguard. Captain Zachary speaking. There's only one thing for it. We came out here to discover the secrets of the universe, to learn about science. Everyone out here in this ISS Vanguard has put their lives on the line. I can't run away. I can't walk away. So, we're going back. We're going back to Matchstick. We're going back to that vine-covered, robot-infested hell. And we're going to go and we're going to punch everything, because I don't think any of my guys have guns or anything. They just have little muscle man dice. So we're going to bring as many muscle man dice as we possibly can. And we're going to punch robots, and we're going to punch vine beasts, and we're going to bring someone who can operate a computer. There's going to be someone on this spaceship, and we're going to land, and we're going to open the vault. And you know what? If everyone dies, we land again. And if everyone dies a second time, we land again, and we land, and we land, and we land for science. And we land until I have no crew or landers left. And then we crash the ISS Vanguard into the robots in the vault, and we see what happens then. Remember the immortal words of Captain Taggart. Never retreat, never surrender. We're going back. An immediate disaster. All right, situation time. Here's the thing. Claustrophobia. I wasn't able to solve this last time. Everyone's afraid of being inside the spaceship. They should get over it because we're about to land on another planet, but I get it. They're afraid of dying on the planets as well. But this thing lowers morale. My morale is already very low. As I told you earlier, I'm playing the Ultra Red Danger Reference Space Mode. the Ultra Space Mode. The Ultra Deadly Space Mode. This is the reference card. Because the morale is low and I can't lower it any further, and claustrophobia lowers morale, I'm going to have to crew are going to start abandoning their posts. That's what it says. I'm going to have to start losing dice from everyone's dice pools that I spent all the experience points buying. And I'm going to have to start having them abandon their posts. This is a terrible situation because I also only have one science crew member. Everyone else is in the hospital. So if they abandon their posts, technically the game is lost. If any section has no available or resting crew members left, the campaign ends in failure. Go to log 810. I'm going to see if I can finagle this in any way. But just as I have declared we're going back to Matchstick, I think things might have gone bad in space. And I also have to worry about tensions. You see, I can't manage this either. And here's the other thing. I also have a food shortage, which has caused me to run out of energy. This cannot be resolved. That means that I only have one energy. I don't think I have enough energy to get back to Matchstick. Shit. As it is, I'm going to have to discard one crew member from each section is going to betray me and they're going to quit. I just gave that big speech about never to retreat, never surrender. They would like to retreat and surrender. Maybe I should just stop the game. I don't know. But what I'm deciding, because I'm going to continue. I've already decided. I've committed. I made the speech. This is going to leave me with only 2 crew members, 1 engineering staff and 1 science staff. According to the Deadly Space rules, that should end the game when there's no available crew. Because I'm playing solo, I don't need all available crew. I don't need 1 crew from each section to play the game. Normally, you would need, if you're playing with 4 players, you'd need 1 crew. 1 player controls 1 section. So obviously, if you got to a point where 1 player couldn't play the game, that makes sense as a game-ending mechanic. I can keep playing without them. So I'm going to ignore that aspect for now. If I ever got to the point where I lost every available crew member and I couldn't go, that's how I would end the game, I think. This still leaves me in a pickle though, because tensions. I don't have any experience to discard. I spent it all last round. So I must do the bottom part. Each section moves 1 available crew member to the resting crew. I only have 2 available crew members. 1 science member, 1 engineering member. So both of them have to go into resting crew, leaving me with no crew currently, other than N. Beckman. And Beckman's here to save the day. Let's just take a look at the sour quitters, the people who are leaving me alone. Clara, I always had you work in the do shipboard actions. You never had to go to planet. Quitting early. Lazy. Keith Wood, my dear friend. I can't believe you would quit. I know we've been through some things, but you were level 2. You were so effective. All right. Well, can't cry over spilt milk. Keith Wood's gone. I always knew that you were more in it for the glamour and the glory, Cheryl. I wonder what the newspapers are going to say when you get back to Earth and get to tell them that you gave up and the ISS Vanguard went to go and do things. Giovanni, you got style. I wish I could have given you any kind of... this would have been the mission for you, Giovanna. You look like looking at plants. But I guess if you're just going to quit, you'll never see Matchstick. You'll never see it. The game rules for Deadly Space tell me that I put these back into the awaiting... available crew. Because I could hire them again. But I don't want to see them again. I'm going to airlock all of them. I'm going to throw them all into this little compartment of stuff I never see until the end of the game or when I reset. I just drew my new situations. And it's, I'm getting deja vu because people are homesick again. And I just redrew the claustrophobia cards that I just discarded. So this problem of me discarding crew members and them quitting is going to come back next round until I find some way to increase morale. I haven't found a way to increase morale in this game yet. Holy crap. I think I can get to a whole new solar system. I might not have to go to Matchstick. I can go to Iota Pegasi. I've never been there. Go to log 430 of Iota Pegasi. Okay, it's blue. I could go there. It costs 3 energy. How much energy do I have? I've got 1 energy. I can't get to Iota Pegasi. What else can I do in the solar system? Tidecaller Moon is a death trap of underwater submarine hell. INFC and INFD both cost 3 and 2 energy. I can't do any of this stuff. Things are going from bad to worse. I only have 1 power left, which means I can go to another solar system. I could go to Toy 2, which would let me go and revisit Pellucid, but I'm not allowed to land on Pellucid again. It had me discard the card from the game. So if I travel to Toy 2, I'm not landing on a planet. If I stay in INF, I can't land, well, I can land on Brimstone again, but there's nothing there. And here's the thing. I was just reading the Adrift rules. If at any point you end the star map phase Without landing on the planet, you count as adrift and you lower morale. If I lower morale, I have to discard more crew. If I discard more crew, I have no crew left in the game, and I will lose even with my lightened restriction. So I think I'm going to have to land on Brimstone and take off immediately. This sounds like a terrible idea. I mean, I don't like that the game's making me do this. I don't like that the game is like, hey, you can't do anything, so why don't you just do nothing? This is a long game. This takes like 3 to 4 hours to play a round from the first ship bridge phase through all of the management ship stuff, through a planetary landing. It's a long game. And here I am in a situation where I'm going to have to go through all of those steps to land on Brimstone where there's nothing left. Every spot on Brimstone is just a there's nothing here card. I'm going to have to go through that for like 2 or 3 hours just to get back to space to maybe get to another solar system. And before anyone out there says, hey, you've done this to yourself, you're using the hard rules, I think I'd have to do this anyway, right? If I wasn't using the hard rules, I'd still only have 1 power right now. I'd still not be able to go anywhere or do anything. I'd still be adrift. I'd still have to try to avoid that. I'd still have to land on Brimstone. Right, the only thing that the Deadly Space rules are doing here is putting a lose condition where there wouldn't have been a lose condition. You know, the stakes are higher for me to land on Brimstone, but I think you would have to land on Brimstone both ways to avoid the adrift penalties, which are pretty severe. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to try to manage the ship management step as best as I can. We're going to land on Brimstone. We're going to hope neither of my 2 crew die in the landing, and then they're going to immediately take off again. But because I will not have succeeded the objective on the surface of Brimstone, so it'll count as an evac. I think it'll hurt me. Man, maybe the crew is right. Maybe I should just maybe I should just throw in the towel. We're doing our pointless landing of Brimstone, but I'm going through my management steps. I've gone to the barracks. I desperately need new crew. Here are the potential trainees. Gia Soic, who looks like she's maybe like an Overwatch character or something. Like she might have ice powers. Uwe Lehman, who kind of just looks done with it. Alpha, I don't like him already. Gong Shun, pretty cool Gong Shun. Forecast, maybe you want to be in my recon squad, but you have a science icon. It's green, though, so you could be good for recon. Eilis Vogel? Yeah. And RV Turi. Careful. Oh, an advisor. You know what? I definitely need an advisor. So these are our potential crew. We're going to hire 4 of them. Let's see. Who belongs in what division? I think off the bat, just because I'm not even reading his ability or the back of his card, we're going to say no to Uwe. I don't like that he has alpha on his card. What are those balls you've strapped to your chest? Like, what are you trying to prove? And why do you have a pistol? This is a science mission. Like, arguably, this could be a gun, but it's got a little grabby hand on the front, so I don't think it is. Right? We're going for science, not to shoot people in outer space. Uwe. Uwe. Ooh. Also, why are you dripping? Like, what is this blood? You know what? I think you're the problem. I think you're why I have dissenters on the ship and why we're running out of food. And where did you get this cigarette? We live in an all-oxygen environment in outer space, on a spaceship. Why are you smoking? I dislike him more and more every second. Okay, you guys are my dudes. I'm hiring you. I know we've just had a rash of recent people quitting. Don't worry, I've sent them to the airlock. Not really, don't worry. They're just living on reduced rations in the bowels of the ship. They don't get to be involved. Let's see. I think this guy's an obvious recon guy. Recon. This guy, if this guy does not look like an engineer, I don't know what. But he's also sort of got a weird, like, fireman police color scheme going on. Maybe he's security. He's got sort of the world weariness of someone who's been working security at like a grocery store for like 20 years. So yes, you're my security officer. And he's careful. I like that. Elise Vogel, an advisor. You've got a little grabby claw hand. We're going to make you my engineer. And that leaves you to be my scientists. I like that. Yes, stop and think and advise. Well, I'm back. I just read the back of their cards just to get an idea of who they are. This guy, this edgelord, he's an astrophysicist. I don't know any astrophysicists dressed like this ever. Like, what's going on there, man? I guess new astrophysicist chic. She's a graffiti artist. This isn't a gun or a grabber implement. This is a graffiti device. We found her, another stowaway, spray painting the hull of the ship. So, Banksy here. The back of his card says he's tired of humanity and is hoping to make a better society in space. So he is. He does have the look of a tired security guard from a local mall. He is fed up with humanity. And this lady, she's not very interesting. She just says she manages all of the landing missions on the ISS Vanguard. I'm going to sleeve these guys up and get to the planet. Still doing ship management. I'm being very granular about it. I'm trying to get the most out of this situation. So I hired new crew. Then I went and managed my situations, and I spent a bunch of my new crew to reduce the situations. People aren't homesick anymore, and do you know why? Because I took Space Banksy, and I had her make murals everywhere. Graffiti's great, boys. And then I went to the production facility, and I produced a bunch of stuff, and I spent almost all of my crew. I don't need a big crew if I'm just going to run away. So I've spent all of my crew in the production facility just producing things. I have a brand new landing spaceship called the Pelican. And the Pelican is going to go on its maiden voyage. And the only crew member I have left to pilot that spaceship down to the surface is Gong Shun. He's going to need this cloak to look cool because there's going to be no one on the planet with him. We land. We landed on Brimstone again. I reset up the board. So I just evac'd. Landing on the planet because the Pelican sucks. The Pelican's a shitty lander. I didn't realize it fully. It's got terrible stats. That's not a big deal. It's got a longer landing track. I have to roll more landing events, which meant that poor Gong Shun got 2 wounds just trying to land on the planet. The Pelican got badly damaged in the landing. I'm going to have to spend time repairing it now. I shouldn't have come down here on the Pelican. The Pelican might be the worst spaceship ever devised by man. Shit. I landed on Brimstone again to avoid floating around in space and having to suffer through the you're floating adrift rules, which would have reduced morale, which would have meant that I would have had to discard, more crew would have quit. Turns out I've never failed a mission. The mission failure rules mean morale gets lowered, so I haven't really avoided anything. But now we're back where we started. I just shuffled cards around. I did all kinds of stuff to set up the planet because maybe I could have succeeded a mission with one person, but I couldn't, and then I had to lift off, and I'm just being punished for it. I hope that this thing that this game is doing right now, where I'm sort of stuck, I'm hoping that this is a fluke. Captain's log 0003. No, 003 was last time. 0004. We're back. I sat down to play ISS Vanguard 2 hours ago, and I was excited. I had worked myself up. We were going back to Matchstick. We were going to right the wrongs. We were going to dispel our doubts. We were going to exercise myself. I was going to exercise myself from my despair. I was going to face the unknown with bravery and gumption. I was going to solve problems. And 2 hours later, I am floating in space exactly where I started. The crew I recently hired is in the medical bay. My Pelican lander, busted up. Brand new ship, wrecked. And here I am, back in the same situation, and I'm wondering to myself, do I spend another 2 hours getting back to the point where I can go on a mission, or do I call it tonight? Do I just send everybody to sleep? And by everybody, I just mean myself. You see, I'm making a video. I'm obviously making a video. And I was like, hey, a good ending to the first ISS Vanguard recap video would be my return to Matchstick and my victory or my defeat. And instead, I've arrived at floating in space and landing on Brimstone and leaving immediately like a chicken. But if I go again, it means I have to go again. These logs are helping me enjoy myself, for sure. If I was in this situation without these logs, I would be supremely exasperated by this game at this point. I do enjoy all the ship management stuff, and I like my crew, and I don't want to let them down, but they're quitting on me. So RV Turi is looking at me right now. He's like, man, just give up. Give up like I did. Abandon all hope and go look for better societies elsewhere. I forgot. I can't get rid of this food shortage. It can't be resolved, and I'm back in this stupid same situation. Lower morale and move this card to the awaiting envelope, or lose 2 power and move it to the awaiting envelope. If I lose 2 power, I cannot leave the solar system. I'm trapped. If I don't lose 2 power, I have to lower morale. If I lower morale, I'm already at low morale. Crew are going to abandon me again. And I'm going to have to lose more dice from everyone's pools. And that's what I'm going to have to do unless I just want to land on Brimstone and lose again and go through this another 2-hour... Oh my God! I'm trapped! Stop starving, everybody! What's going on? And what's this card? Claustrophobia. Lower morale and shuffle this card in impossible situations. That's unavoidable. Both of them are going to have to happen. That's loyal morale twice. That means I discard 2 crew from every section. That empties every section, I think. I've got Every. I like him. And I have Riku. They're both security, and that's all for security. Both of them would be discarded. Amir would get discarded. He's my science. Vogel would get discarded. She's out my science. Gia would get discarded, and Beckman. That would leave me with 1 crew member. Lena Freeman. Well, I could juggle this around. I was just counting these out in the order they were in the deck. Like, I could keep someone else and discard, but I would lose every single crew member except for literally 1 engineer. What does that mean? That means if I did that, I would still have 3 power. I could probably still make it to Matchstick, but then I'd be landing on Matchstick with a single engineer. And let's be honest, it's either Space Banksy and Beckman, who I don't really remember, but she got to level 2, and Lena Freeman, who's got a big old wrench, and Lena Freeman's also level 2. So if I'm being honest with myself, I kind of like Geozoic, Space Banksy. I think she's got more character and she's more interesting than either of these 2, but these both at rank 2. So let's be honest, I would have to keep one of them. And I'm losing 2 dice. So right now everyone's got 8 dice. If I lost morale twice while being at low morale, they'd lose 2 and they'd go back to 6 dice. And they only start the game with 5 dice, right? I've gone to a bunch of different planets and I've succeeded all my missions. And I've gained lots of success, which are basically experience tokens. They look like this. And I've been buying dice. I bought everyone up to 9 dice in their pools, which is almost twice as many as they start the game with. If I lose morale twice here, I'm back almost to the start. I'm back almost to my starting position with less crew than I ever started with. Right, I could lose 2 power instead of losing morale for the food shortage. I would still lose morale for claustrophobia, but I would lose 2. But then if I lost 2 power, I wouldn't be able to travel to Matchstick. I'd be floating in space again, or I'd land on Brimstone only to then lose morale for failing the mission. Right? I'll be down to a single crew member. Everyone else is going to quit. I'll be down to a single crew member. I'll be able to reach Matchstick, hopefully. If I reach Matchstick, I'll be able to land. And if one of you are able to punch the robot and the vine monster to death and get to the vault and open the vault, we might find something of interest. And that might progress the campaign. Oh my God, space is hard. Okay, we're just going to have to commit. We commit. Both of these things are going to happen. Everyone's quitting. Let's decide who we keep. Obviously, these guys all have to go. Which 2 of you do I get rid of? Maybe the person with the giant wrench should go and hit the robot. Oh, but you've got an artificial arm. Oh, but you've got a giant wrench. Let's read you again. Right, no, this is Space Banksy. I feel like if I take Space Banksy, I am just admitting defeat because she's rank 1. She'll go, and Lena Freeman will go. Oh, I like Lena Freeman so much. But if I'm being honest with myself, this ability is just more flexible, and is more important when she's going all alone onto a planet. And Beckman, you're my only crew member. Everyone else, all my other crew, they're all quitting. They're throwing in the towel. We've done it. We've reached it. New Ceti 4 Matchstick. The planet where dreams go to die, where hopes are shattered, where one woman, Anne Beckman, shall land alone to fight the wilderness, to learn the secrets of time and space, of aliens and our destiny. This is the moment, Anne. This is it. The moment where you prove whether this whole ISS Vanguard experiment was a waste, or whether this was our crowning achievement, our path to glory, our moment of wonder. Matchstick. Prove them all wrong, Anne. Prove them all wrong. You built yourself an arm. Build yourself a victory. All right, we're in the barracks. Okay, Anne. You get to choose 4 of them, 1 for each section. Let's see. Well, you're sort of like a tech punk princess. So we're going to hire the other tech punk princesses to join you in the crew. Okay. Neat. And then you're just going to have to listen. At the rate of attrition we're going through crew, we're probably going to see you again. Back into the deck. The Pelican is messed up. I can repair it for a 1 mineral discovery. I've got a 1 mineral discovery. Do I think the Pelican would be good here? It's going to let me at least bring more resources down to the planet. We're fixing the Pelican. We're bringing this terrible ship down to Matchstick, and maybe this will save us. Here are my crew. Tabitha and Anne. Ended up having to use all the rest of the crew I hired in order to manage the ship situations. I lost most of their items coming down here due to turbulence, and both of them got 2 burned injuries on the way down to the planet. So things are not looking very good right now. I think, as it turns out, the Pelican was not the right ship to bring. It let me bring a lot more resources, so I should technically be able to stay here longer, and it allowed me to bring a lot more supplies. But it's got no stats, which meant it was very susceptible to the fact that the atmosphere of Matchstick is constantly exploding. Here's the current board situation. Aggregator Titan and the Carnivorous Thicket are living in spot number 4. I'm in an ash field because the atmosphere exploded on my way down, which is why everyone's burned. And there it is, the vault. And along the way, we're just going to have to punch this to death. This is it. This is the adventure. This is what the aliens have called us to space to deal with. Tally ho! I'm crushed against a wall. I'm being whipped by a giant robot. It's bad. It's really bad. I'm gonna flip it. This guy is in my space, just crunkin', bunkin', funkin' me. I've almost progressed his time track to the end, and I almost have gotten the ability to read this log. Here's the problem, though. I'm in this safe campsite. It's a safe campsite. It's just a nice place. It's a safe campsite. It was this horrendous dangling root place that was attacking me, and I did the thing I needed to do, and I turned it into a safe campsite. You'd think that'd be the best thing possible to happen, but no. All of these event cards, you check to see if one of these icons at the top are in your space, and if it's not, you progress time tracks. The safe campsite has no icons, so the time tracks always progress. When does this giant robot move and attack and hurt me, do you wonder? Whenever the time track progresses. Move, attack, travel, attack, travel, reset this track. This thing has been moving like crazy because I'm stuck in this spot fighting the robot. So every single turn, he attacks me. Oh, it's so bad. She's panicked and burned, and she's still just burned. We're running out of dice on her. She's only got 4 dice left. It's done! I've killed the aggravator behemoth. This giant, viney robot has been broken by me. I don't know what to do now. I'm kind of exhausted. I'm kind of thinking I might want to retreat. But I've got to get 3 discoveries or this mission is a failure. And if it's a failure, the morale goes down and people are going to quit their jobs. So I've got to stay on this planet longer. I've got to find 3 discoveries. I kind of want to go and knock on that door and try to get into that vault. Here's another thing, though. I read the log entry for the aggregator behemoth, but here's the thing. It didn't give me anything. It said, hey, get 1 XP, which is not super exciting, seeing how getting here cost me, I think, 26 experience lost. Because I lost, you see, what I lost all those dice due to low morale. And I think it's like 26 experience worth of dice that I lost. And so, hey, I killed the aggregator behemoth and got 1 experience back, boys. It didn't give me any new objective cards, didn't give me any new research, didn't give me any new projects to work on, didn't progress the current mission. It gave me 4 alien tech discovery tokens, which I drew out of the bag, and all 4 of them were zeros. So I came back to Matchstick. Everyone is pretty broken. Everyone has 3 wounds right now. And I think by the end of this session, I will have gained literally nothing for it. So, I walked 1 space. I was here, and I walked 1 space to here. Just 1 space. It was blank. It said, hey, go to log 245. I went to log 245. It said, hey, is the carnivorous thicket in your space? I said, no, thank goodness. It's been on the other side of the board this entire game. It's not in my space. It said, great, move the carnivorous thicket into your space. I did. Carnivorous thicket, 8 people. Anne Beckman. Anne Beckman. Poor old Anne. She's dead. Eaten by the carnivorous thicket. She got her 4th wound, and in the deadly space rules, that means just dead. If we were playing normal rules, that would mean instant mission failure, which would have lowered morale, instant mission failure and retreat, evac, which would have lowered morale, which would have caused a bunch of crew to then disappear. Playing on deadly space rules lets me continue the mission with 1 character. Tabitha Gesco. I keep seeing her name and thinking it's Tabasco, but it's not. It's Tabitha Gesco? Don't know. So in order to make this not a complete failure and to stop us from having another wave of crew resign, I'm just going to have to, I need to get 3 discoveries from this board. Means killing the carnivorous thicket. It means somehow not triggering the carnivorous thicket a 2nd time. It means hopefully whatever I did that caused the aggregator behemoth, the giant robot, to appear the 1st time, hopefully I don't do it a 2nd time. My 1 security officer does not have the dice necessary to open the vault. I could go to the swaying forest of trees that are constantly exploding. Did I mention that this planet's always exploding? It's a hyper-dense oxygenated planet, Matchstick. It's called Matchstick because there's so much oxygen in there that the forest spontaneously bursts into flames. It's a failure. We lost. I kept Tabasco sauce down on the planet as long as I possibly could. We never got enough discoveries. This stupid thing, I never dealt with it. So I've just lifted off, well, I've evac'd, right? Because evac is what you do when you haven't completed the mission. I've evac'd. I got a creepy voice message on the audio log, but that's it. So I've got a mission failure. And Beckman, she's dead. I'm very sad about this. And now I really am at a crux. It's coming back to this planet. It's coming back to this planet again. And going to this vault. But this space right here that says nothing important, that's going to spawn more venomous vine creatures. There is going to be a venomous vine creature right here to start with. I think this spot here, I don't remember, but I think this spot, when I go onto this spot, it summons the aggregator behemoth, which is the giant robot, and I have to go through that spot to reach the vault. So next time we land on this planet, we do this exact same situation all over again. We fight the robot, we fight the plants, we go to the vault if anyone's alive. Man, this is just breaking me, man. I enjoy so much of the idea of this game. I enjoy the ship management a lot. I even kind of enjoy the planetary exploration, though I think that's the weakest part. I'm stuck. And like, here's the thing. I'm not stuck. I can push through this, right? I can just stay above matchstick and I can keep landing crew over and over again. And if I stop using the deadly space rules, only one thing is really going to change, and that is the crew are going to stop quitting on me when we go to low morale. But that's not going to stop me from just having to grind out matchstick by landing here over and over again. That's not going to stop me from having to lose dice from going to low morale. That's going to happen regardless of whether I'm using the deadly space mode. I didn't get any discoveries in this run, but it's not because I have a borked bag. Like, it's not because I'm missing tokens. It's because I had to fight a robot. And I did the event. I did the objective, slaying the Titan. I killed the giant robot. It just didn't matter. It didn't give me anything. It just said, hey, discard that objective. Good job. Objective didn't give me anything. Let me know. Let me know down below if the adventures of the ISS Vanguard continue. Because I've got to just resummon the enthusiasm I had at the beginning of this sit down. What did I say? Never give up, never surrender.